Hi everyone. Hopefully this one is a little less wriggly because I am hands-free today. Today is Wednesday the 15th of January and I had my blood test this morning. I'm waiting to hear from the clinic whether I will need another blood test tomorrow. I figure I will need another one tomorrow or Friday. I'll probably put it on the end of this video what day I need to go in. But yeah, anyway, blood test went fine. It's a little bit sore. So I've got really bad veins, which is just awesome when you have IVF because there are so many blood tests that need to be done. So I've got my good vein here that gets a bit of a hammering. So he's a little bit sore today after Monday and today, but that's fine. It's not super painful. It's just a little bit uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I just wanted to say to all our family and friends that are watching these videos, I don't normally share my YouTube videos on my personal Facebook page because it was something that I wanted for people who were going through infertility, who were searching for it on YouTube, that these videos would be for you guys. But I thought because so many people journeyed with us with Violet, I thought I would share the video, and we just got a really overwhelming response in our comments on Facebook. And so thank you to everyone who has watched the videos and is walking this journey with us. It's really cool to know that we've got so much support moving forward. So today I'm feeling a little bit all over the place. Every day is different. Every day is like some days I'm like, yes, this is going to be fine, and then other days I'm like, oh, I don't know so much. And it's on those days that I spend a lot of extra time in prayer and just asking God to sustain me and give me peace in my heart that he's got this under control. I'm sorry about the noise outside. I'm going to go and close the door. So my stand is not the greatest. It's like some of Violet's toys stacked up to create my stand, so it's super high tech. Yeah, so we just wanted to say thank you for all the support. And then I also wanted to just say to all the women who are going through infertility or struggling to get pregnant, who have reached out to us, whether it's been on here on YouTube or whether it's been friends that we know of who are struggling with infertility. I just want you to know how much Myke and I just every time we hear one of those stories, we're so glad that we have shared our story so that we can walk and journey this with you. But we're also so sad to know that you're walking this journey. So, and I've had several comments and things made to me from people who are supporting other family members through infertility. So what I wanted to do was make like a few videos on it's purely based on my own experience. Some of it is it's not like scientific, or there's no studies on it. There might be studies on it, but they're not studies that I've read. This is purely from Myke and my own experience and talking with other people who have walked this journey. I wanted to make like a series of videos of if you're going through infertility, what that's like, what you can, maybe not necessarily what you can expect, but just validating how you feeling is okay and it's normal. Videos on like how to cope with baby showers, coping with pregnancy announcements, how to support a friend or a family member who is going through infertility. So I'm just going to make like a series of videos on those particular topics, and hopefully those will be helpful to some of you. And whether it's you're walking through it or you've got a family member or a friend walking through it, then hopefully this is all information that we can support each other better, right? Because that's the end goal for me, is that I don't want to share the story because it's like, woe is me and poor Mel and all that kind of stuff. No, I don't want sympathy. What I want is to empower us to care for one another and love each other and support each other better and more thoroughly when we are going through really difficult and hard times. So that's that. The first video I wanted to make was walking through infertility. So for those of you who are in the midst of finding out, maybe you've known for a while, maybe you're 10 years in, I don't know, maybe you're 8 months or 5 or 6 months in, to finding out that maybe things aren't quite what you were expecting, and now you're having to read all this stuff and find out all this information about infertility and what treatments look like and all the uncertainty around that. So these are just some things that I want to say to you that I hope encourage you and give you a little bit of peace over the situation that you have to walk through. First of all, again, I just want to say that if you have shared your infertility story with Myke and I, just know how much we grieve with you, and our hearts go out to you every time we read a story or hear someone share their thoughts. It makes us cry because it brings back all those emotions that we have felt, and we know what that's like. And I feel like sometimes, unless you've walked this journey, it's really hard to comprehend what someone is going through. So just know how much love and support you have right now. Big hug from us. First of all, I just want to say, and again, this is purely from my own experience, be your own advocate. What I mean by that is, especially when it gets to the parts where you are looking at like IVF treatments or IUIs or I don't know, whatever the medical treatments that you need to look at, whether it's having to have surgery for endometriosis, or you are needing to have sperm tested, or whatever it might be, you need to learn to be your own advocate. What I have learned, especially going through the public system, is that unless you speak up, unless you use your voice and call something out when it's not right, things just don't happen. You get pushed to the back of the line, or medical professionals, they're so busy. And this is not me getting down and out on medical professionals, because without medical professionals, we wouldn't have Violet. So it's not about that at all. What I'm saying is you need to learn to use your voice. So there have been times, so for example, when Myke and I were doing our embryo transfers, we got down to our last embryo, and I went in there and I was like, said to the doctors, what you are doing is not working. We need to try something different. And they were like, it's just how it is sometimes. And so I pushed for progesterone. My progesterone levels were fine. Nothing wrong with my progesterone levels. But I said to them, can we try for me to have progesterone? And they were like, it's not going to really make a difference. And I said to the doctor that I was meeting with, he was a little bit blasé and not helpful. I said to him, is it going to hurt me? No. Is it going to hurt the baby? No. So let's just try and see if it makes a difference. And when I took the progesterone, boom, pregnant Violet. So, and then they had the cheek to write in their notes that it was their recommendation for the progesterone. Besides the point, we move on, I digress. You need to learn to use your voice and speak up. And if you're not happy with something, you pick up the phone, you call the doctor, and you get things sorted. You are paying them money, whether you're going privately, whether it's public funding, you're paying your taxes, hopefully. So you are paying for their services. If you're not happy with something, speak up. If you don't understand something, call them and ask them to explain it. If you need to have meetings, do so. If you're not happy with the way you're treated, do something about it. Don't sit back and get complacent or get upset. You're allowed to be those things, but don't forget to have your voice and speak up and say when you're not happy about something. So be your own advocate. I know it's hard. I know you're hurting, and I know you're in a really tough spot emotionally, physically, spiritually. All these things are going on. The last thing you want to have to do is be strong and be your own advocate, but that's exactly what you need to be. Okay. If you're going to be public about your infertility, and Myke and I have been public about our infertility, and it has been amazing for us. We have got amazing family, amazing friends, a great church that supports us, loves us, prays for us, fasts for us, gives us meals, gives us cuddles. So and I think the more that people are brave about losing the stigma around infertility, the more that we can support one another and people can encourage one another. So I really recommend at least being public and maybe not public necessarily, but being honest with some people that you really trust, that will support you in this journey. I really think it is hard when couples walk it alone. That is when marriages break up. That is when depression gets hold of you. That's when we see all these negative, awful things seep in. So whether you reach out to someone who's walked it before, your mum or a family member or a really close friend, spread the love, spread the load. Don't feel like you have to carry it all yourself. Do not be ashamed of this journey you're walking. 1 in 4 people in New Zealand will struggle with infertility. Whoa! My high-tech stand. 1 in 4 people in New Zealand will struggle with infertility. So this is not something that you're like a weirdo that it never happens to anyone. 25%, 25? Is that 1 in 4? Yeah. Of the population will struggle to get pregnant. So you are not a weirdo. Be honest with it. But in saying that, and with how public Myke and I have been with our infertility, let me just say, be prepared for stupid comments. There are people that say things that they don't think exactly how it sounds in their head, and they say things that are hurtful. That's one thing, but then also just be prepared for people that say silly things. And I would say don't get angry and aggressive in their face, because really what does that achieve other than you being more frustrated and them thinking you're a spinster? Just be as gracious as you possibly can to those comments. So for example, Myke and I have had comments like, oh, well, if you get pregnant naturally the next time, that's going to be really special. Like Violet isn't special at all. Or we've had some crazy Christian people say like, have you got any sin in your life that is causing this? Those people I just want to slap in the face, but I smile and move away from them and never talk to them again. Just silly things like that. There's the offhand comments that people say that they don't think about, that I, to be honest, don't really bother me too much, because they don't know any better. They don't. It's the things where people are like basically saying there's something wrong with you as your person that you have done that has caused all this. That's where, just be prepared for that, and just be as gracious as you possibly can to those people. The other thing that I wanted to say was, understand that what you are going through is actually loss. You are grieving at the moment. You are grieving the loss of this idea of a family. Like, whether you had planned to have 5 or 6 kids, or you only just ever wanted 1 kid, but you've always imagined and dreamed this journey of having a family and having children. Or maybe it's just been something since you've met your partner that's been the experience that you want to extend your family. Understand that you are sad and you are hurting and you're crying because you are grieving a loss of what you thought would be. And that was a big thing, like a big aha moment for Myke and I, to realize that what we were experiencing was actually loss and that we were grieving. Before, we were just like, we understood we were sad because things weren't happening, but we were really grieving the loss of the children. We just didn't know whether we were going to have or not. So be kind to yourself in these moments. Be kind to yourself. You want to have that ice cream? Babe, you go ahead. You eat that ice cream. You enjoy that damn ice cream as well, because you deserve it. You're going through a hard time. If you need to cry for 20 minutes, let that happen. Let that be. It's not the end of the world. You are grieving and you are allowed to be upset. You are allowed to grieve. This one is another big one that really hit home for me. I was part of a infertility group on Facebook that I eventually left because it was just so emotional for me to be on there. This point is, don't lose sight of your marriage. On that group, there were 2 marriages that split up because they'd been trying for years and years to get pregnant. The whole experience had been so draining for them that they went their separate ways. And that really affected me, because I realized how precious Myke and my relationship is, that through it all, there's never been a time where we fought about it or blamed the other person for it. It's always been our journey, our experience, our problem shared. And if anything, it has brought us closer together and made us stronger. And at the end of the day, whether you have children, whether you don't have children, let's say you do have children, one day those kids are going to grow up and they're going to leave home. And it's just going to be you and your partner. And if you can't live with them now with no children, what is it going to be like in 20, 30 years time when your kids leave? Hopefully not 30 years time, but in a decade or two time when your kids leave home, you need to still have that marriage. So keep building on your marriage. Still have date nights. Still have sex because you enjoy it, not because you're ovulating. Hang out with one another. Talk about what you're going through. Let your husband talk about what he's going through. Let him not talk about it as well if that's not the person he is. Help him to process it just as much as you're processing it. And that's my biggest just prayer is hold on to your marriage. There were times where I had said to Myke, if you want to out, you can have out, because, if I can't have kids, and he was so angry with me when I said those things. And it's true. That was a silly thing to say, because at the end of the day, kids are amazing. They're wonderful. I cannot imagine my life without Violet, but she is going to grow up and have her own family one day, and it's just going to be Myke and me in a house together. And if we can't love each other now and be with each other now, a child is not going to solve that. A baby is not going to solve that. So protect your marriage. Next point, keep living your life. This was a big thing for me. I spent years just going, what if I get pregnant this month? We can't go on this holiday. We can't do this. I can't change jobs. I can't do whatever, because what if I get pregnant? I stopped thinking about hobbies, about things that I enjoy, making friends, hanging out, all these things. I put my life on hold for so many years out of just hoping and praying that I will get pregnant. Don't do that. Don't stop living your life. Don't not have that glass of wine, or plan a family vacation, or hang out with some people, or stop, picking up a hobby or whatever it is, just because you're hoping that one day you're going to get pregnant. You are going to lose years of your life. I did this. Don't be like me. Don't use years of your life. Oh, the fertility clinic is calling me. Okay, so that was the fertility clinic. We moved to daily scans now, and I've got a scan tomorrow to check my lining to make sure it's looking all nice and thick and ready for a baby. There we go. There's that little update for you. So we moved to daily blood tests now. Okay, next point is supportive friends and family. I think I've already actually talked about that already. So make sure you have those people around you. If you have family members or friends, and I didn't really have this, but I've heard of other people who have had this, who have had family who have don't understand what you're going through, just tell you you need to stress less. I swear, one more person had told me, just stop stressing. You just want to murder them. But you're going to have some people like that in your life. See those people less. I'm sorry. That's the only way I can see to do it. If it's and like I said, this is not my family. My family have been so supportive. Our friends have been amazing. But if you've got a friend who's just you need to stress less, or I can't believe you didn't come to my baby shower, stop making it all about you. Bye, Felicia. That's the only solution I can see. I'm sorry, because those people are just not going to change. They're not going to understand what you're going through. I don't know. That's the best I can say. The next one is let your husband grieve too. Myke was always having to be the strong one. He was having to be the one to support me, and he felt like he had to be Superman and pick me up when I was broken and all these things, and I didn't let him grieve all the time, and that was wrong of me. So let your husbands grieve too. Talk to them about it. If they don't want to talk about it, then that's fine. Let them go fishing with their friends if that's what they need to do to grieve. But understand that they are processing it, and it might frustrate you that they're not processing it the way that you want them to. Myke is a very emotional person, which I appreciate, because then I know what he's feeling. He talks to me about his feelings, which is so special, and I love that about him. But if your husband is not that way inclined, try not get too upset with them. They are still processing what you guys are walking through. And don't get angry with them if they're not grieving either. I know for Myke, it took him a lot longer to understand how heavy this process was compared to me. It was only maybe when we started the IVF stuff that it really hit home for him of how hard this was, especially when we started doing embryo transfers. That really was the clincher for him of how difficult this all was. The last thing is just hold on to hope. I know that is always easier said than done, but I'm a Christian. God for me, I don't know how people live without God, but God for me is the thing I hold on hope to. If you are Muslim, if you're Buddhist or Hindu, I don't know how all the religions work, but whatever hope looks like for you, whether it's religion, whether it's just knowing, holding on to the hope of science and what medicine can do for you, holding on to the vision of the family that you desire to have, whatever it looks like for you, hold on to it. Clench it with fingernails if you must. Look for the positives in what you've got. If you ovulate regularly, bonus. If you've got good eggs, if you've got endometriosis but your husband's got primo sperm, look for the positives in what you got. Hold on to those things. You got a crap ton of eggs collected, boom, that's awesome. You've got 4 eggs to work with, or 4 embryos to work with, or 1 embryo to work with. 1 embryo. Hold on to hope that it will work. I know of a lady who had 1 egg that turned into 1 embryo that turned into a baby. Hold on to that hope and look for the things that you need to surround yourself with to love in place of the children for now. For me, Charlie and Penny, they were my babies, my fur babies, and I talked about them like they were my children all the time. So they were the things that I cuddled, that were there when I was sad and when I was broken, and I can't believe they're not here anymore. But whatever you need, whether you need a dog to cuddle, whether you need your husband, whether you need to ask a friend who's got a baby to just give them a wee cuddle because that's just what you need, whether you need to get your nails done or put a face mask on and go have a hot bath, whatever you do, just do what you need to do to get through it, babe, because at the end of the day, this journey is hard and it's rough, and you are strong that you are going through it. And there were so many times that I wanted to give up, and so many times that I thought this is not good for myself, my mental well-being. And I look at Violet now and I can't imagine life without her. So yeah, that's it. I hope that stuff is helpful. I would love to hear what you find helpful below. If you have got any questions, feel free to message me and write to me. But I hope that is helpful. Care for yourself. Look after your marriage. Hold on to hope. And at the end of the day, whatever the outcome, whether it is you carrying a baby, someone else carries a baby for you, whether you foster, whether you adopt, whether you just love on your friends' kids like they're your own, whatever it is, you are a mother. You are a mum. And a motherly heart isn't defined by what you push out. It's defined by the heart that you have for children, whether they're your own or whether they're the ones that you love as your own. So you are a mum. And if you need to hear that today, you're gorgeous, you're a mum. Hold on to that. All right, I'll see you all next time. Bye.